President Cyril Ramaphosa and 3 cabinet ministers are in Maputo for the Extraordinary Double Troika Summit. 6 SADC heads of state and their respective high-power delegations have gathered in the Mozambican capital to map out an effective strategy against terrorism that's gripping Cabo Delgado and surrounding provinces. Attacks in Cabo Delgado have displaced over 700,000 people from their homes, killed thousands of people and destroyed buildings and infrastructure since 2017. The conflict has also brought to a halt the multi-million-dollar natural gas exploration venture in the region. Botswana's Foreign Affairs Minister Liesl Louw-Vaudran says no SADC member state should face terrorist threats on its own. He adds that the region needs to stand firm and united in a show of solidarity with Mozambique. These are strong words, but will we see decisive action? Well, let's unpack this with Liesl Louw-Vaudran, Senior Researcher of the Institute for Security Studies. Liesl, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us on the Midday View here on ENCA. Well, that much-awaited SADC meeting is underway in Maputo with 6 heads of state and their high-powered delegations. The sentiment on the ground, when I interviewed Fernando Lima, a Mozambican journalist, yesterday here on the Midday View, is that they are hoping this summit should produce a very clear and effective strategy, a plan that will stop the war in Cabo Delgado. Do you share that kind of sentiment that this time it has to be, because people in Mozambique have been waiting for too long for a solution?
Yes, afternoon, Dan. I agree. As you said, these are high-powered delegations, 6 heads of state. It's the first time, actually, that we've had a double Troika Extraordinary Summit on the situation in Mozambique. Last year, there were 3 summits of the organ on politics, defense, and security. So after this Palma attack, obviously there's a lot of international pressure. The fact that the multinational company that was busy building their gas projects there to exploit the liquid natural gas, Total, withdrew all its personnel. I mean, that's a real wake-up call to Mozambique. And we are expecting some kind of announcement about assistance to Mozambique. As you said, the Botswana Foreign Minister spoke. Dr. Tax, the Executive Secretary of SADC, also spoke, talking about a coordinated regional approach to security and humanitarian assistance, which is also, of course, very urgent for Mozambique at this point.
Yeah, and the United Nations World Food Programme just the other day had to stop its flights in the area because of all kinds of challenges. Now, Mozambique, historically, and as recently as yesterday, the 7th of April, which was National Women's Day in Mozambique, President Filipe Nyusi saying clearly, ahead of the SADC summit, just yesterday, saying that they don't want foreign military intervention. But he didn't put it in those words. He said Mozambique must guard its sovereignty. They've been harping on this sovereignty thing, not wanting anybody to come in.
Yes, this has been going on for a long time, and we've seen it in other conflicts done, like, for example, when Boko Haram first started in northeastern Nigeria. I remember, because I was in Addis Ababa, when the Nigerians arrived saying, we want no help, we can handle this. And a couple of days later, with a lot of diplomacy, negotiations, I mean, there's nothing that can be done without the agreement of the host nation, of course. Then Nigeria had to accept a multinational task force against Boko Haram because the neighbors were already directly targeted. Now, this is not the case yet. There have been 2 attacks across the border to Tanzania, but with all the South African interests as well, their casualties, South African, well, 1 South African has been killed already. You know, there is a lot of pressure from the neighbors. So sovereignty is, of course, very important for member states of the African Union and of SADC, but with the consensus of the neighbors, they might reach an agreement at the end of today or when this meeting ends, that there will be some kind of intervention. I'm not saying necessarily the SADC standby force, which exists on paper and which could then be mobilized, but at least a plan, an organized strategy to share intelligence, to assist with humanitarian aid, and to maybe prepare for military assistance from the neighbors. But, you know, with all the issues and constraints that we have, we would need the African Union and the UN and so on involved if there was going to be such a multinational deployment in any case.
Thank you very much, Liesl, there, talking to us from the Institute of Security Studies, giving us some of your views about the SADC Double Troika Summit on Defense and Security that's currently underway. Everybody hoping that when it ends by tomorrow, there will be an effective strategy to stop the war in northern Cabo Delgado province of Mozambique.